given to the hands of the wicked. It covers the face of the judges thereof. Rattling my eyes wide open. And you know the slow.
That's why I said he was a man with a
Till the
feeling.
full one.
When you look into his seal, it says shaggy. What does shaggy mean? A hairy person, man. We're gonna face the east and we're gonna open out. Alright, east is behind us. We're gonna that side and we're gonna say Allah, 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 Yahweh, Yahweh. Right, so we want to give double honors to Apostle Tahara, okay, which through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashama Yahweh Shai, we know is Masha, right? And also in the New Testament, he's John the Baptist.
That's right.
All right, so he represents the first baptism, which is the water. All right, the basic understanding of being a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, Yahweh put the spirit on him to come and teach us, man. Because without the works of Apostle Tahara, you know, none of us brothers would be out here. Okay, so we give him double honors, man. All right, and we want to salute Apostle Gabara. You know, even though he does his thing, right? He knows what I'm talking about. And Apostle Ariyamlab and also Apostle Rawacha. You know, they've been putting in work and we've been watching them, so we know who they bees, man. All right, and also the brothers as well in Great Millstone, the sincere brothers. You know, we ain't talking about the brothers that like to play semantics. They know who they are as well. Okay, and in due season they're gonna be visited. All right, because you saw what happened to that brother from HOI.
Right.
Shawapara.
Right.
You know, the Most High ain't playing no more, man. And it's funny because through the Spirit, he's from what? The house of Israel, HOI. All right. And the fact that Yahweh has sent a fire through his house, that's a sign to all of us. All right. He's about to visit his own backyard. Ezekiel chapter 9, man. He said he's gonna start in his own house. All right. And you saw the Most High nearly killed his children, man. Right. They had to get out of the house. So this ain't a game.
Serious business.
And it's funny because when you go in the Lashon Kodasha, Sha, Wa, Pa, Ra, okay, Sha goes back to what? Sha season. And the Wa is a connector. The Pa means what? The mouth. Okay? The mouth. And the teeth are found in the mouth, man. So that's connected to Sha season. And Ra is what? The head. So we're going to visit the heads of Israel, man. So that's a sign, that's a breakdown. Actually, let's get on board. Let me break it down. Because the brother that the Most High, because that's a serious destruction, you know. I think that's one of the first, brothers that have ever been visited in that manner. Where fire goes through the house. Yo, that's serious. We got to break that down. So Sha, Wa, Ha, Ra. Okay. So Sha is what? Actually, let me write it. Sha, Wa, Ha, Ra. They say Shawapa, but it's Shawapara. And the Yiddish people call it Shofar. Alright? So the Sha is what? The teeth, man. Okay? And then the Pa is what? The mouth. And you find the teeth in the mouth, innit? And then the Ra is what? The Ra is the what? The head, man. Or the heads. So get Ezekiel chapter 9, because it says start with the ancients. It's not a game, man. It's a serious business, man. So you show that to the world. Blue Letter Bible. Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 6.
There you go, man.
See that? So that's the breakdown for what happened to the brother. That's why it's important to know the Lashon Kodasha. We said brothers need to learn the Lashon Kodasha, right? Okay.
We even did it, the rap. You did the rap, the little things so they can.
Bagada.
Yeah, bagada. All that
Kayakala.
is important. You gotta take it in, man.
And it's funny because, you know, brothers watch us and they laugh. But I was just telling the priest, Chazakwa, when we first started the church, they were laughing at us, man. But now you see all the churches that came out of the one church. That goes back to the 7 candlesticks.
Right.
Alright? The the 7 churches in Europe. Because the 7 churches were in Europe, man. That's another thing they're not addressing. The 7 churches were in Europe, okay? That's Asia Minor, or what they call Eurasia. It was the 7 churches weren't in America. So the apostles of Yahweh Ba'ashama Yahweh Shai, they're gonna be in Europe, man. It's only makes sense. Because Ecclesiastes 1:9 says what? The thing which had been is that which shall be. Okay? Everything has been recycled and regenerated. So if you're looking for the disciples of Yahweh Shai, you're damn sure they're gonna be in Europe, man. They're not gonna be in America. Okay? They're not going to be in America. And that's not to discredit Apostle Tahara, because the fact that Apostle Tahara is even in America, that's spiritual, man. Because America is what? Spiritually Egypt.
That's right. Oh, man.
So when you go to Egypt, who are you looking for? You're looking to find Moses, man.
Right.
Masha. That's why he's over there. That's spiritual, man. Alright? And he can't tell you where the land of Israel is because Moses never went to the land of Israel. That's why he can't tell you. We got the map over here. That's why the Ruach HaKodesh didn't reveal this to him. Because he never been there before.
That's right.
The Most High said what? He's going to see it with his eyes, but he's not going to step foot in it. So show it to the camera. So it's spiritual why Apostle Tahara doesn't know where the land is, man. You see what I'm trying to say?
That's the new map, man. That's the reformed map, you know? That's where the land is, and as well as the other nations like the Midianites and the Canaanites and the Persians.
You know, and we're talking about the Midianites, you West Africans, when you want to go into Europe, where is the middle passage? Niger, Chad, Niger. That's how you go into Europe, man. So how can you tell me, even just using common sense, that these are not the Midianites?
Then from there you go to the Persians.
And they use you and abuse you. That's why Yahweh sent a destruction through there.
Right.
That's all spiritual, man. Okay? But he said he's going to start in his house first when it comes to this truth, man. Alright? That's why, what does he call himself? A deacon. That's why the deacon, Shawapara, Yahweh sent fire through his house. That's spiritual, man.
That's First Peter 4 and 17. And Ezekiel 9 and 6 as well, man.
Yeah, so read that Ezekiel, because judgment is coming. We told them that Yahweh is going to start punching niggas up. We said that, innit? Yeah. Well, there you go. We say before, it says, when a man of the Lord saith something and it cometh to pass, then thou shalt know that we have truly sent that guy.
Right.
Well, there you go. You know? And it's funny because we're talking about all these countries, the Persians, the Medes, and the countries that we've got on here, the Most High sending destruction there. So how can you say what we're saying is not accurate when it's happening right before your eyes? He said he's going to stir up the Persians and the Medes, right? As in the days of old. That's what he's doing with the Libya thing, man. So how can you not see that the Asian Persians are from Libya? When it clearly tells you that the Libyans are Hamites, man. Okay? When you go in the scriptures, Libya, it says Pawata. Pawata goes back to Put.
And the Persian goes back to Put. They're a tribe of the Putites. I mean, come on, it's right there.
They're a tribe of the Putites. So Put is a brother to who? Matazarayam.
Right.
Matazarayama, who is what? Egypt. And Egypt is right next to Libya, man. Come on, man. It's not hard to be understood. It's just a favoritism thing. I like that camp. I like that camp. So I'm down with this camp. Nah, it's not even about the truth anymore, man. They don't care about the truth, you know. It's a popularity contest.
That's right.
That's why Yahweh sent fire through Shawapara's house. It's letting you know the heat is about to start, man. The real. Okay. Read that, Ezekiel.
This is Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 6. Slay utterly, old and young, both maids and little children.
Yeah, hey, you heard what the deacon said. He said his children had to run out.
Almost don't get there. Got
The Most High almost burnt them up, man. Okay? So this is serious business. And you could tell, man, he's humbled, man.
Yeah.
You had Chief Ephraim in the background talking smack, but he gonna get got as well. Because he left the truth, right? He said he was living the vida loca. He had an interview with the New York Times. We saw that, man. We saw that. He left. Because, you know, after the year 2000, when, you know, the world didn't end, a lot of them went back into the world.
Right.
So we know about you guys, man. The Most High through the Spirit, that's put it out there so we can know the genuine brothers and the guys that are lollygaggers, the clowns, the circus clowns. You're all gonna get weeded out, okay?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, read that.
Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
And that mark goes back to Ezekiel. Ya Chazakwa Allah, man. Alright? Read that.
And begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
That's the heads. And we just broke down Shawapara. Okay? The destruction is gonna start with the heads, man. A lot of these guys that are teachers in Israel, yeah, your who's like the Nathaniel Sevens and the Zabachas and all these guys, Allah is gonna visit them, man. Gonna pay them a visit. Okay? You see what kind of doctrine they're spewing, because a lot of them are making filthy lucre off of the word, man.
Right. No.
And you see the Most High burnt up all his money.
That's a sign right there, isn't it?
But anyway, this lesson is about the creation, right? So this is the new wine breakdown concerning the creation and the flood. Okay, from the creation of Adam to the flood. That's what this lesson is about. Because a brother asked a question, a sincere question. Do you want to read that comment that he asked? You know, because a lot of people say we're proud, you know, but we're disproving that. If brothers come with sincere questions, we're going to give them sincere answers.
Yeah, bear with me, brother. Let me get that.
So he's going to get the comment the brother put on the comment board, because at the end of the day, we know this word is only for a select few, okay? The masses of people out there are not going to get it. They're going to hear it, but they're going to say, that's not for me, on to the next one. That's good, because this is for a select few men that Yahweh has severed unto himself, man. Okay?
Right, so that's this is tribe of Yahweh, which is tribe of Yahweh, you know. And he says Shalom Akim, Yahweh, I would say Yahweh, Bar Shama, Yahweh Sha'ai Barakah, Akama. So that's what he said, the comment. I have a new page, so I don't know if this is the same page I've used to watch you on. But when you say that the people that lived in America before the 10 tribes weren't sons of Noah, did you misspeak? Because I thought only 8 people lived through the floods. Sincere question, brethren.
Right, so the brother asked the question, and he said he was being sincere. Yeah? No, we didn't misspeak. It's a fact, because one thing you got to realize as well with the flood wasn't the entire planet as we know it today. Okay? Because back in the days, the Americas hadn't been discovered.
Right.
I'm talking about the time of Noah.
That's
Right? So we're going to break it down, and we're going to bring some understanding as to the creation as well, all right? Because the Bible is just a compact understanding of the world.
Right.
That's why Yahweh set up what? The church, to bring more understanding. Right? Through the Rawakak of Dasha. So this is the new wine breakdown concerning creation, okay, starting from Adam to the flood of Noah. And that's all synonymous with the second return of Hamashiach Yahweh Sha'ai. Because he said, as in the days of Noah were, that's how he's going to come back.
That's right.
And we spoke about that, right? Right, so from the very beginning, it is evident that there were 2 different classifications of men that were created. Okay, so two different classifications of men that were created. You had the indigenous peoples, okay, that you find in the Americas. Like for instance, when you go to the Amazon, yeah, or even Peru, Brazil, Venezuela, before the 10 tribes went over there, right, which was way after the flood, way after the flood. There were people there already, man.
Right.
Okay, those are what you call the indigenous people, the indigenous peoples. And we're gonna break down what class of men those people are. All right. We're gonna break down through the Ra Kakudasha what class of men those people are, man. Right. So it says from the very beginning, it is evident that there were two different classifications of men that were created. The indigenous peoples of the Americas in places such as Peru, Brazil, Venezuela, and most of the Americas, right? Especially the peoples of the Amazon, because they haven't even discovered certain Amazonian tribes, because the Amazon is so big. So now my question to you is, if those people are the sons of Noah, okay, when are they gonna come into the knowledge of Yahweh Bahashama Yahweh Shai? Because we can clearly see that things are rounding up. We're in the end times. And these people don't look like they're ready to be civilized anytime soon. So logically, that doesn't even make sense. So you're telling us, yeah, that we need to just, you know, just keep lurking around and wait for these guys to become civilized, receive the gospel, because it says what? Until the gospel is preached into all the world, then the end shall come. So based on that logic alone, you're saying that we ain't about to leave here anytime soon. So that's gonna encourage brothers to want to go back into the world, man. That's why Yahweh set us up, so we can bring clarity. Right, so from the very beginning, it is evident that there were two different classifications of men that were created. The indigenous peoples of the Americas in places like Peru, Brazil, Venezuela, and most of the Americas, especially the peoples of the Amazon. Because they still dress, you know, half naked. They're using bows and arrows like back in the caveman times till this day. Who still live like beasts of the field, all right? Not to talk of the pygmy peoples of Africa, okay? The Khoi people of Southern Africa, you know, they're still living like savages. The San people of Angola, all right? Because you know that guy with Maya, he went to Angola to do a documentary about those peoples. They're still living in mud huts. You see what I'm trying to say? Those are not sons of Noah, man. There's nothing you can tell me. Those people did not come from the ball sacks of Noah. It's impossible. Okay? That is not Noah's DNA. Because Noah's people were sophisticated, man. Okay?
Civilized.
They were civilized, alright? And plus, those people don't bother nobody. They just stay in their mud huts, man. If you don't come and destabilize or disturb them, they're just gonna live off the land. So that shows you they're part of the ecosystem. They're not sons of Noah, man. Alright? And also that shows you the flood didn't hit the entire planet, because it would have wiped all those people out.
That's right.
It's common sense. But anyway, check this out. So the San people of Angola, alright, the plate-lipped Mercy peoples, you know the guys that put the plate in their mouth,
Yeah.
they keep saying those guys are Hamites. Those people are not Hamites. Those are indigenous peoples of Africa, man. Okay? The Hamites were sophisticated nations of people. That's why during times of famine, we used to go to the Hamites to get food. Come on, man, it's common sense.
That's how Jacob and the children go to go to Egypt and they found out that Joseph was in Egypt, man. Because they were sophisticated people. They were like America today. Don't you go to America? People want to go to America, to Canada, to Europe for a better life. It was the same thing back then. Egypt was the top. How can people that wear stuff around their lips be so sophisticated? Sometimes you have to use common sense, man.
Yeah, because even when you look at ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, you don't see no plates in their mouths and all that. So where did that come from, man? So you guys are not breaking down the scriptures properly, man. You know, that's why Yahweh has sent his men here to come and bring clarification for the judgment. So
with the Huguenots, go and find out what that term Huguenots mean. You understand?
Yeah. So like we said, obviously Apostle Tahara, you know, he came on the scene. He gave the basic understanding. You understand? Just like kindergarten, like a school when you start school. Right, so the San people of Angola, the plate-lipped Mercy peoples, and many others across the other continents, like the Eskimo peoples, man. So what tribe would they be from then? You know, the guys that live in the igloos.
Yeah.
You know, which of the sons of Noah did they come from? And all of you keep saying that the first man was a so-called black man. So that means Noah was a black man. So how the hell did he give birth to those Eskimo people, man? Right, so check this out now. The Eskimo peoples of Alaska, all these peoples were created to regulate the ecosystem.
Right.
So get Deuteronomy 7:22, all right?
No.
So all these peoples were created to regulate the ecosystem pertaining to Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 22. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 22, all right? That's going to give you an understanding as to why Yahweh created those ecosystem people.
Really?
Which really, if you get into it, they were created on the 6th day, man. All right? Because on the 6th day of creation, it tells you that Yahweh had created man. Male and female created he them.
Right.
That was on the 6th day. And you can't tell me that was Adam. Because when you read the scripture, it says Adam didn't have a helper.
Right.
Yahweh had to put him in a deep sleep, take his rib, and that's when Eve came about. But then in Genesis 1:26, it says he created two of them, male and female, man. So why is he now coming back on himself to now come and put Adam into a deep sleep, take his rib and make Eve? So it shows you there were two different peoples, man.
Yeah, the old understanding, even me I teach that, was the fact that all of that, when I say that, you know, Adam was put to sleep and then took his rib, that was symbolic, and there's even precepts talking about flesh on my flesh, bone on my bone, going back to being related. So the question is, did Adam go to the equal people? So maybe Eve is, so they're saying that if we go with that understanding that I had in the past, that means that, but Adam was created on his own, right? So that means where did he go and take this woman? From the equal people. So that means Eve was an equal people, but the revelation, when you see the prophecy on Eve, that's the black woman today, man. That can never be those equal people.
And also, that creation on the 6th day, it wasn't taken from the ground.
Nah.
It was not taken from the ground. And it didn't receive the breath of life.
That's right.
So that shows you that wasn't Adam. That's the indigenous people that you see on the different continents, man. All right? It's not just America that got indigenous people, you know. Even in Australia, you got those Aborigine people. That's not sons of Noah, man. All right? So you got to start using your head, common sense. All right?
Facts.
Yahweh deals with common sense. It's not hard to be understood. The sons of Noah are the major players in society today, man. The who's, man, like the Moabites, the Edomites, the Israelites. Those are the sons of Noah. The Hamites. Those other peoples, they're just eco people. They're just mankind. They're a kind of man, but they're not sons of Noah. Okay? So read that. Deuteronomy. This is why Yahweh created the eco people, the 6th day creation, which is really half a man. Because last week we told you 6 is half of 8.
Right.
So Deuteronomy 7.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 22.
Right.
And the Lord thy Yahweh will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee.
Do you hear that? Lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee, man. Alright? Yeah, read a bit louder, yeah. So like he said, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. So those people were actually created to regulate the animals, man. Because they go hunt, innit? They go hunt animals, you know. You understand? It's part of the ecosystem, right? For those that are learned in agriculture, you go understand that man and animals need each other to survive. Because even the dung that coming from man is a form of manure for the soil, all right? It produces natural gases that balance the gases in the atmosphere, man. Okay? Right, so that Deuteronomy 7:22 explains why those peoples were created, man. Right? And both male and female were created on the same day. Right? So as Western Africa does not have an influx of indigenous peoples like the other parts of the world. Because when you go to West Africa, they don't really have that many indigenous, if there are even any. They don't have that.
I need to double check. But there's not. I don't think that.
They don't really have it like that. Like those people that put a plate in their mouth, you know, they don't have those type of people
That's
there.
in the east that area.
And even if we did have that, we probably would have multiplied so much that we wiped them out. There you go. So yeah, West Africa doesn't have an influx of indigenous peoples like other parts of the world. So Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. Get Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. So Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 shows a clear-cut demonstration of how Yahweh created these peoples on the 6th day, right after the 5th day. Because the 5th day is when Yahweh created the animals. So right after he creates the animals, then he goes and creates Adam. That don't even make no sense, man. So it shows you the next creation is gonna be the closest relative to the animals. Yeah, that's why the mark of the beast, who is a man, is number 6. Because he comes right after the animal, man. And for those of you that are learned, you're going to understand that Esau is what? The closest thing to the eco people. That's why he's the only one that goes looking for them. No one else cares about them, man.
It's true.
He's always going in the Amazon trying to find the Amazonian people, man. And they shoot spears at them and kill them. And they still keep going.
They go back there and they find them. And they want to live like them. They're training themselves to live like the equal people. So that alone shows you the spirit right there.
And it's funny because
Number 6.
the Edomites are the ones who sometimes put plates in their mouth and shit like that. The big earrings. So it shows you, man. You know them by nature.
Right.
Come on, man. So read that precept. Yeah. Which one did I say again? Yeah, so Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. Read that.
Okay.
More understanding on the 2 different classifications of people that were created by Yahweh.
So this is Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. So Yahweh created man. So Yahweh created man in his own image. In the image of Yahweh created he him. Male and female created he them.
Male and what?
Male and female created he them.
Did you hear that? Yeah. Male and female created he them. So that means the eco people, he didn't create them in the same manner that he created Adam and Eve. They were different. They were both created on the same day, man.
True.
Okay? Read that. Is that it? Yes. Male and female created he them. Well, you didn't say nothing else after that. Okay. Right, so it says Genesis 1:27 shows a clear-cut demonstration of how the Lord created these peoples on the 6th day, right after the 5th day creation, okay, of the animals. Because the animals were created on the 5th day. Alright? So whatever comes after that is going to be the closest relative to the animals.
Right.
That's why Esau says we came from animals. Can you see that? That's his fury, man.
See, the
Neanderthal, yeah. That's why they said we evolved from
Right.
That's where that whole spirit comes from, man. That's where that whole understanding comes from.
Yeah, Darwinism.
Darwinism, exactly. So now we're beginning to understand the dynamics behind how the beast thinks.
Right.
Alright?
Because it's close to the beasts.
Right. Yeah. Number 6.
Yeah.
Right, so the creation of the animals, as it is fair to say, based on current showings from these mud hut dwellers, because that's what they do, they live in mud huts, okay? And Esau tries to say that's us, just to mock us, innit?
Yes.
But it's all good, man. You know, when we build castles and monuments, they say we build mud huts. Right, so it says the animals, is it fair to say, based on the current showings from these mud hut dwellers, they are the closest relatives to the animals by behavior and mentality alone.
That's right.
So why do we say that? Because the eco people don't start no wars. The eco people don't, you know, try and develop sophisticated weapons to go and take over countries and continents.
Right.
Because that's not how the brain of an animal works.
Right.
You see what I'm trying to say? Animals don't go from continent to continent to try and, you know, they don't think like that. They just want to live off the land.
No.
They're content. Okay? The sons of Noah are the ones who, you know, they want to venture far and wide, and, you know, they want to impose sanctions on different nations, and they want to do battle, that kind of thing. Right? So now we're getting some understanding. Right, so continuing, it says the animals, as is fair to say, based on the current showings from these mud hut dwellers, they are the closest relatives to the animals by behavior and mentality alone. Most indigenous peoples do not aspire to build World Heritage monuments like castles, skyscrapers. Like they don't build skyscrapers, castles. They don't do that. That's what I'm trying to say. And like we say, we are known by nature. Even Yahushua said, by their fruits you shall know them. There you go. Right, so it says skyscrapers and also their lack of influence on a global scale regarding culture, politics, and contemporary world events is another clue as to them being a completely different classification of man. Mention one famous indigenous person. Just one.
I'll wait.
That's not mixed with the sons of Noah.
Right.
Mention one famous pygmy person, or mention one famous Khoikhoi person, or one famous sand person. Mention. You know, they go and say the Native Americans, but really, those Native Americans that are famous is the Jakes, the 10 tribes that left through the Gibraltar Straits that mixed with them. That's what makes them become a people, man. When they mix with the sons of Noah.
That's right.
Okay? Other than that, they're comfortable just living off the land.
That's right.
Who's that calling me, man? Right, so we're gonna continue, man. So it says skyscrapers influence on a global scale regarding culture, politics, and contemporary world events is another clue as to them being a completely different classification of man.
Right.
In reference to the 8th day sons of Adam, because it is clear that Adam was created on the 8th day, man, and we're gonna prove that. Okay. Also, there was no mention of this 6th day creation of man being taken from the ground or earth. Because when you go into that Lashwana Kodasha for ground, it goes back to Aratazar, earth. Okay? as they were a completely separate creation of mankind to Adam's 8th day creation, which is synonymous with eternity. Because remember, Adam was created to live forever.
That's right.
That's why Yahweh created him on the 8th day, which is after the Sabbath.
That's right.
So after he rested, the first day after the Sabbath was when Adam was formed. Adam was taken from the ground, okay? The 6th day creation was not taken from the ground.
Right.
And also the ground goes back to what? Earth, Arataza. And what does the scripture say about the earth? The earth abideth forever, man. So that means Adam was created to live forever. He wasn't supposed to die.
Right.
So the lifespan of the eco people is not the same as Adam, man. Right. So it says a separate creation of mankind to Adam's 8th day creation, which is synonymous with eternity. Okay? Because number 8 goes back to infinity. And when you look at the infinite symbol, it's like an 8, like that.
Yep.
Right? So get Genesis chapter 2. Because Genesis chapter 2 clearly tells you that everything was done created. The Most High was done. But then verse 7 now says he formed man from the dust of the ground. Which really is spiritual, man. Okay, and we're going to break it down. We're going to give you some understanding as to why Adam was created on the 8th day. There's a spiritual symbolism behind that number 8, which also ties into the circumcision, man. Why do we get circumcised on the 8th day? You see that? It's all linked in.
That's right. That's right.
Right, so read that Genesis chapter 2 and verses 1.
Okay, this is Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them.
Did you hear that? So Genesis chapter 2 says everything was done.
Right.
Now jump down to verse 7. Now verse 7 now says what? Oh, now all of a sudden. Now actually read verse 2 actually and then go to verse 7. Do that.
Verse 2. And on the 7th day, Yahweh ended his work which
Right.
he had made.
Right?
And he rested on the 7th day.
And he what?
And he rested on the 7th day.
And he what?
And he rested on the 7th day.
Did you hear that? He rested. And the 7th day is what? The Shabbat.
That's right.
Right?
For all his work which he had made. Verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh formed the man
See that?
of the dust of the ground,
Of the what?
Of the dust of the ground.
Did you hear that? So the 6th day creation was not formed from the dust of the ground. Adam was formed from the dust of the ground.
That's right.
Because it just says that what? He finished creation. But now it says he formed man from the dust. Who is that talking about? That's talking about Adam. Alright?
That's right.
Read that.
and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life,
And what?
and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
So it said he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And that goes back to what? Laws, the statutes, and the commandments, man.
That's right.
And man became a living soul.
And man became what?
And
man became a living soul.
Yeah, that's why when you look at the indigenous people, they don't live by no, laws like that.
No laws, no ways about them.
You know,
It's like
they don't really live by these type of laws, man.
they got natural laws that they follow, but they don't have that law, man.
They don't have the law of Yahweh. That's the breath of life that makes you a living soul, right? Makes you a living soul, innit?
Right. That's right.
Makes you a living soul, man. And it's funny because they say we got soul, like soul food, soul music, They ain't got it like that. The indigenous people ain't got it like that.
They ain't got it like that.
Mention one indigenous musician that can really sing their ass off. You can't mention one. You know? But we can show you some sons of Noah that can sing. So that goes to show you it's not the same people, man. Yeah, man, it's not the same people. Right, anyway, carrying on. Right, where we at? So it says Adam's 8th day creation, which is synonymous with eternity, as the number 8 is an everlasting and infinite number.
Right.
Hence the covenant of circumcision, okay? Being on the 8th day. So I'd rather get the circumcision on the 8th day. Get that? Read that, man. There's a reason why Israelites get circumcised on the 8th day. Because that goes back to Adam's creation, man. Because Adam was created circumcised. I'm just going to put that out there. Yahweh himself circumcised Adam. Okay? That's why the covenant of circumcision was given to Abraham.
That's free.
So get that. So get Leviticus 12, circumcision, 8th day. Goes back to infinity.
This is Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed and born a man-child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation for her infirmity shall she be unclean. Verse 3. And in the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised.
That's right.
Yeah, there was no point to read that verse. You should have just read.
I just want to do
Right, so like the brother just read, alright, it says what? The male child, okay, foreskin had to be circumcised on what? 8th day. Because that goes back to what? The partitioning. Because number 8 in Lashwana Kodasha is what? Cha. Right? And the symbol Cha, it goes back to partition or portion.
That's right.
And we're going to show you that, man. So, it says the covenant of circumcision being on the 8th day, as the covenant is to be an everlasting covenant.
Right.
Because 8 goes back to everlasting. When you go to the petrol station and you see the number 8, you can get all the numbers from number 8. You can get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All from the number 8. Okay? So 8 is an everlasting number, man.
That's right.
Alright? And it's funny because when you yeah, we'll do that later. Get Genesis, get Genesis chapter 17 verse 7. Yeah. Genesis chapter 17 verse 7. Yeah, so that number 8 is an everlasting number, man. Right? Everlasting number. Let me do that, bro.
This is Genesis chapter 17 verse 7. And I will establish my covenant.
And I will what?
And I will establish my covenant.
You hear that? So Yahweh said what? He's going to establish his covenant that he had with Adam. Because that covenant started with Adam, man. The circumcision, okay? And we're going to give you an understanding as to why that is so. So read it from the top again.
Genesis chapter 17 verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee.
Right.
In their generations for an everlasting covenant.
For what?
For an everlasting covenant.
For an everlasting covenant. So now we're going to break down the Most High's name real quick. Yahweh, okay? You know, so Yah is 10, alright? And Ha is 5, so that will give us 15. And Wa is 6 and Ha is 5, so that will give us what? No, 11. 6 plus 5, bro. 11. No, altogether it's going to be 26. So now now we're going to add up the 26. So 2 plus 6 is what? It's 8, man. So that shows you this is the proper way to pronounce Yahweh's name. Because when you see a nice girl in public, what do you ask for? A number. That's how you're gonna be able to call her, man. So the Ephraimite brother that said the numerics are not important, you need to go back to school, man. Right? And the only way you're gonna go back to school is through the priest, Yahweh. Okay, because he's the man in charge of the ministry now. Because the first circle is already complete. So now you have to come through the constellation, which is the second circle, man.
That's right.
That's the only way you're gonna come back in this thing. So like we were saying, the brother's gonna show you on the board. We just broke down Yahweh's name. So Yah is 10, Ha is 5, Wa is 6, and Ha is 5. And if you add up all the numbers, you get 28, which goes, you get 26, and 2 plus 6 is 8. So it goes back to infinity, man, which is the number 8.
Yeah. And you gotta know the name first as well.
There you go. And that shows you gotta say Yahweh Ha.
That's
Because if you
right.
just say Yahweh and you don't say Ha, you're taking the 5 away.
The most high in Christ bless.
Exactly, that's some bullshit.
You don't have the right number of Yahweh. This is his number.
This is his number.
If you don't have,
If you ain't got his number, you can't call him. That's what I'm trying to say. If you ain't got that baddie's number, you can't call her.
So all you brothers that have that name in your camp, you have to change that, man. Because look, now that you know, the Bible says in Ephesians 5 and 12 that you ought to now learn as babe, roughly paraphrasing, and it speaks of you teachers. This ministry is essentially for the brother who wear the ephod, man.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now that you know that it's Yahweh, if you don't change whatever you call your camp or the name, how you call the Most High, you're gonna be visited.
Oh boy, you're gonna be visited, man.
And that's the truth.
You're gonna be visited, man. You are going to be visited. Because Exodus 20 and 7, what does it say? Get Exodus 20 and 7, man. This is serious business. Because we just showed you, if you say Yahweh, okay, you're only mentioning 3 Lashwana Kodasha letters. And that's gonna take away the 5. And you're gonna end up with 21 instead of 26. And 21 does not add up to the infinite number 8.
That's right.
Which goes back to the circumcision,
That's
man.
right.
And we just gave you a contemporary analogy. If you see a fly chick and you want to be in contact with her, you need to get her number.
The right number.
And if you miss one of the digits, it's going to say the number you have dialed cannot be recognized. So how are you going to call on the name of the Lord in that day? You ain't going to have that number. And it's common sense, okay? And it says what? They took the word lightly.
Right, took it lightly, that's right.
They took it lightly, so they gonna get, and that's what happened with Shawapara, man. They don't like to say the name of the Lord. They always say Most High Christ bless, like
Right.
So when Yahweh visited him, he couldn't even beg for mercy because he wasn't mentioning the name of the Lord. Have you showed it to them?
I'll show that one.
Right. So this is serious, man. It's not a game. You gotta get the numbers right. Numerics are very, very important.
That's right.
You got something?
Exodus 7.
Yeah.
No, this is Exodus chapter 20 and verse 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless.
For the what?
For the Lord will not hold him guiltless.
And we're in that season where, like we just said, Yahweh is going to start visiting you brothers that are taking his name in vain.
That's right.
And you gonna know it was him. What did he say? He said, after he visits you, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh.
That's right.
You gonna know. You gonna remember us on the highways.
That's right.
Oh yeah, them brothers were talking, they were singing that, you know.
That's right. Oh my God, if I can say something, right? Ha. If you when you go into the four characters, it's Ya, Ha, Wa, Ah. So how are we saying Yahweh? They're saying, oh, you have to make the last one, silence. There's no precept saying that we should make that one silent. The Most High would have told us that some way, somehow. So it's right there. Don't say that we be creating a new thing. It's right there.
You know that comes from the Yiddish.
Right, the Yiddish vibration.
Yiddish way of doing it. Yeah.
So the
And it's
Bible-
funny because the reason why the Yiddish people say it's silent, it says the name of Yahweh is
That's what I
terrible
wanted to say.
among the heathen,
That's what I
man.
wanted to say.
Come on, man. So
it
they
right
gonna
there.
silence that.
We're dealing with Esau.
We're dealing with Esau, man. The whole serpent.
Because you gotta remember, yeah, a lot of the tribe of Amalek blended in with Lawaya, Levi. You understand? So they had to Yiddishize the
Yeah,
pronunciations
that's
of
right.
certain words because they needed to take away the force from the word. Because it tells you the name is terrible among the heathen, right? Get that actually, it's terrible, man. But there you go. So you guys, you need to brush it up, man. And it's funny because they might think it's not important, but you gonna see, man. You saw what happened to Deacon Shawapara. That's just a preview of what's
That's a
coming,
sign,
you know.
Bro, that's a sign.
Things are gonna start intensifying out here.
That's a sign, man. When I saw that, I was like, wow, this is something, man. That it came down to the house of Israel now. The most is starting to visit, man.
And it's funny because the camp is part of his HOY, House of Israel. So he came with clear intent. And it's funny because Shawapara means what?
Blowing the
trumpet.
Trumpet. So that's a warning.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, sound an alarm. What does an alarm do? It warns you of a fire. And he sent the fire to his yard. Come on, man.
So through him, we know what time it is now.
Because the alarm goes off when there's the smoke alarm
Right.
to tell you there's a fire.
Woo! Yeah.
Are you Jewish?
Right, wake your ass up.
We Israelites.
You're Israelite, so
Let's not
Jewish, yeah?
Yeah, this is Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 14.
Bring that out.
But cursed be the deceiver,
But what?
But cursed be the deceiver
which have in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrifice unto the Lord a corrupt thing.
There you go.
Right.
For I am a great king,
Right.
saith the Lord of hosts,
That's right.
and my name is dreadful.
And my what?
And my name is dreadful.
Did you see
among
that? My
the
name-
heathen.
My name is dreadful, man. That's
So
mad.
that's the reason why they
That's
switch it up
right,
like
yeah.
that. They don't want us to.
That's why
They don't
they
want
say
us
his
to-
name is what it is. Because they taught you the name of the Lord, right? Through their
I thought it was,
They're
I thought-
Yiddish,
I thought it
Assyrian.
was a loving God. A loving God. Yes, he's not dreadful, is he? Not spiteful.
Yeah, don't worry, man. Just take what you believe in it. It's fine. Yeah, man. Do your thing, bro. The world is yours, man. Enjoy it. You see, we ain't,
What
we
is
ain't,
your ice?
we
What
ain't-
is your ice? What I said, the what is your oyster?
we ain't out here. We ain't out here to discourse with you guys. We're out here to rebuke and teach.
Oh, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, we ain't out here for that. You got a multitude of camps out there, debate them. Go and debate. We ain't got time for that, man. This is serious business. And it says men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. That's why we're showing you the numbers, man.
That's right. That's right.
And there's a book in the Bible called Numbers. So it shows you the numbers are important, which goes back to the name of the Lord, adding up to 8, which is infinite. So if you say Yahweh instead of Yahweh, you're giving him a 21, which adds up to 3, instead of a 26, which adds up to 8. Okay? So this is serious, man. This ain't a game. So Genesis 17 verse 7, everlasting covenant. Okay? Also, Adam had to have been created after the Sabbath, which will be the 8th day as shown in Genesis chapter 2 verse 1. Because in Genesis chapter 2 verse 1, it says that Yahweh rested. Okay? The creation was completed, but after the Sabbath or rest, as stated in verse 2, the Lord takes Adam from the finished work because the earth was finished. So Adam was a complete man. Because 8 goes back to completion. That's why he said, I have likened my judgment unto a ring, which is 8. Because when you have a ring, which is a circle, and you bend it, it turns into an 8. So an 8 is a circle.
Oh, yeah, if you got an 8 and then you do like that.
Yeah.
If you got a circle, you turn
it like that, it become an 8. So he said, I have likened my judgment unto a ring, which is completion. So 8 can also go back to completion. So Adam was a complete man. Okay? Because 6 is half of 8. 6 is half of 8, man. Okay? So, right, so check this out now. It says, Sabbath rest stated in verse 2, the Lord takes Adam from the finished work, making him a completed man, as the 6th day creation of men were incomplete. That's why the indigenous people, you know, they are the way they are. Half man, half animal.
That's right.
Okay? They're incomplete.
No.
And Esau is the only son of Noah, okay, that goes back to those people too. He's representing for the indigenous people. Yeah, he is, yeah. His number is 6, isn't it? So he's a beast. Right, so, and it's funny because he's trying to come here to, we don't want to hear that shit, man. We ain't got time for that.
But he's drunk as well.
Yeah, man, we ain't got time for that. It says talk not much with a fool. We're past that stage now. And you can call it pride, but when Yahweh visits you for the name's sake, that's when you're going to remember us.
That's very carry on. When I heard say, Robert say, oh, you know, when we teach out there, you know, we teach for the people, all right? So if people come to us, we are obligated, you know, or we are obliged, I would say, to entertain them. But like I say, this ministry is Hebrew 5 and 12. This ministry is not necessarily for the brothers that are not wearing the ephod. This ministry is a school for the brothers who are wearing the ephod. It's a reformation, all right?
Yeah, and also it goes back to raising up the heads.
Right.
Okay, the head does not have the same functionality as the body. So we're dealing with, you know, the who's in Yashara Allah, man. You know, that's who Yahweh is dealing with right now. That's why he's giving them the new wine. Okay, this is the new song that you should be dancing to. Because, you know, I don't want to get carnal, but the Benjamites, they call dancing a wind-up, innit?
Right,
so this is the new wind-up.
Yeah.
Too much.
No, but it's true, man. So yeah, stated in the verse, completed man, 6th day of men were incomplete, hence their behaviors like beasts of the field. So Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, the Lord forms Adam from the ground, which ground goes back to earth. So a brother get ground, G-R-O-U-N-D, ground. Let's see what ground, the definition is. So ground goes back to earth, which is Arah Tazar. Okay, so Arah Tazar. I want Strong's definition C and D for Arah Tazar. Yeah, Arah Tazar. Yeah, ground, yeah. Arah Tazar. No, etymology in the Blue Letter Bible. Yeah. Ground. Just type in ground in the Blue Letter Bible. You got it? No. Yeah, you got ground?
You got it.
Okay, so Zakwana Nakwama is gonna edify us.
What is it? What is one more?
Ground.
I don't know.
Just get ground. Look. If you type, he formed man from dust.
I don't believe my things don't work. So I don't think I can get
So let me help you. Genesis chapter 2 verse 5. Just go to ground. Yeah, because here it says Adam was taken from the ground. And then you go to C and D, definition C and D.
Right, so C and D. I got it. So outline of biblical usage, which is Adama, yeah. C is earth, substance for building or constructing. D, ground as earth's visible surface.
Visible surface. Did you see that? It says earth. And when you go into the word earth, it says what? Earth is Aratazah.
Right.
And it's funny because when you go into cedar, okay, because the temple was made with cedar, cedar goes back to Aratazar as well.
Right.
Actually get cedar. Because what? Cedars are meant to last forever, man. Because that temple that Solomon built, okay, it was built with everlasting type materials, man. That's why the cedar trees go back to what? Aratazar, earth. The earth abiding forever. And also, that also shows you where the real Lebanon is.
Right.
Because Lebanon are known to have the cedars, man. Alright? And when you go to Morocco, what is Morocco known for? Morocco has the Atlas Mountains. And when you look at the character Atlas, what is he carrying, man? He's carrying the earth on his back. That goes back to Aratazar, cedar. It's all there, man. But brothers refuse to open their eyes and see. Aratazar. Wait, is that cedar?
Yeah.
Cedar, it says Aratazar as well. You see that? So cedar and earth have the same Lashon Kodasha definition. Aratazar.
I'll put that in the editing as well. You know how we do it, man.
But the real question is, why is cedar and Aratazar have the same Lashon word? Because the earth abideth forever, man. There you go. And the cedar was used to make the temple, right?
And then the cedar lasts for longer, you know.
Yeah.
It's very long lasting. Yeah, good quality. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And also, like I was saying, when you go to Morocco, the Atlas Mountains, because that's where you see the cedars, man.
That's right.
And Atlas, what is he carrying? He's carrying the world, Aratazar, on his back. So that shows you where Lebanon is, man.
That's right.
Right there. And that's why Yahweh has sent the earthquake to Morocco. Shaking them up.
That's right.
You're shaking them up.
That's right.
Just to let that, what, the land of Asher, the bread basket.
That's right.
And also that shows you that famine is coming, man.
That's right. Oh.
Because Asher represents the food.
Oh, that's it right there. Spiritually discerned. You're right, Malaka.
Yeah.
You're right, Malaka.
That's what I'm trying to say, man.
Yeah.
That's the level that the Rawah Kodash is working on.
That's right.
Brothers don't want to tap in. Nah, you know, you do get one or two sincere brothers, which really we're not looking for a multitude. That's why we're answering that brother's question, man.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Because we understand there's only going to be a select few men that are going to get the job done. Kind of like that instance with Gideon when Yahweh said he only needs 300 men. Just so they don't say they did it. That's how he's going to do it again. You know?
That's fine.
Right. So, where we at with it? So, Aratazar, okay, Adam was taken from the ground, which ground goes back to earth, Aratazar. So, Adam's strong definition, C and D, okay, shows you that the ground goes back to the earth. So, Adam was taken from the earth, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 4. Read it. Ecclesiastes. Why was Adam taken from the ground? Ecclesiastes 1 and 4 is going to explain that. So not only are we answering the brother's question, but we're also expounding on other events to bring more clarity, man.
Verse 4.
There you go. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 1 verse 4. Oh, you want to read that? Okay, you get it.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 4.
The bee wants some honey. This is the sweet honey, innit?
Okay. This is Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 4. One generation passeth away,
Right?
and another generation cometh,
Right?
but the earth abideth forever.
But the what?
But the earth abideth forever.
That's why Adam was taken from the ground, the earth. Aratazah. Because it abideth forever. It is infinite, like the number 8. That's why he was created on the number 8, man.
Right.
Okay? Regenerated, man. So clearly shows us that Aratazah abides forever. Or is an unending entity. So it's fair to say that Adam, who was created on the 8th day, which goes back to eternity or everlasting, was created by Yahweh to live forever, as shown by the qualities of earth being everlasting, which he was taken from. So Genesis chapter 2 and verses 17. This precept clearly shows us that if Adam hadn't trespassed against the Lord, he would have never died. So get Genesis chapter 2 verse 17. Right? Because Adam was never supposed to die. He was meant to live forever and ever and ever.
This is Genesis chapter 2 verse 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt surely die.
Right, so that was prior to Adam eating from the fruit of knowledge. If he hadn't done that, he would have lived forever. So it shows you Adam was created with the intent to live forever. That's why he lived up to 900 and some odd years, man. Right? Okay, so that's it on that one. Right, where we at? So Genesis 2. So this precept clearly shows us that if Adam hadn't trespassed against the Lord, he would have never died, as that was the intent behind his initial creation, which is synonymous with the number 8, an eternal number. Also, another example that shows he could not have been made on the 6th day like the rest of the other mankind creations is the Abagada Hawazacha sequential number 8 character. So we're going to break down the Kha, which is Kha being defined as Khalakwa. Sakwana, get Psalms 119:57. So we're going to break down why Adam was created on the 8th day. Because, and this is also why it's very important for the brothers to know the Lashwana Padasha, man. Alright? Because the Lashwana Padasha, it gives you a unique perspective on certain topics that can only be understood if you know the Paleo Lashwana. Right, so I'm going to draw the symbol Kha. Okay. Kha. So Kha is the 8th Kha. Yeah. So Kha is the 8th character in Lashwana Padasha, and the definition for Kha is Khalakwa.
Kana.
And Zakwana is going to read the precept pertaining to that. Because that precept explains why Yahweh created Adam on the 8th day. Because 8 goes back to what? Infinity. But in the Lashwana Padasha is Kha, which is Khalakwa, which means what? Partition or portion. Partition or portion. Okay? So basically it's like having a pizza and slicing a bit of the pizza and say that's my portion, you can have the rest. So that's why he took Adam on the 8th day, because it's synonymous with what? Partitioning, portion. So you can't get around this, man. Okay? All arrows are pointing towards Adam being created on the 8th day. It only makes sense. Okay? So partition, portion, alright? And if you want to get deeper, the sickle is used for harvesting, which is number 7 as well. And then after you harvest, what do? You separate the wheat from the tares and you say, this is my portion. So it all ties in anyway. Alright? So read that Psalms and then we'll get some understanding. And then after you can show them the breakdown.
This is Psalms 119, verse 57. Thou art my portion.
Thou art what?
Thou art my portion.
And you know it's funny when you go to Psalms 119, Malaka the Wada, he done a prayer using Abagara Hawaza Hatayakala.
Right.
And that precept right there is the Ha precept, man. Because when you look at the heading, what does it say?
Hey.
It says He, which is Ha. So we're not making this up, man. Okay? It goes back to portion, partition. Thou art my portion. Read that.
Thou art my portion. Oh, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
I have said that I would keep thy words.
There you go. So thou art my portion. So it goes back to what? Portion or partition. Because after you part something, you know, that's your portion, innit? You're taking your portion
That's right.
from the initial amount. It's not hard to be understood. So Adam was formed. That's why I said, and Yahweh formed him. So he took him from the earth as his portion. So that pertaineth unto what? Number 8, which goes back to the circumcision, because the circumcision is what? How he parts us from the other nations unto himself. That's the covenant of Adam. Okay? It's not hard to be understood, man. Right, so yeah, go, yeah.
There you go, man, brothers and sisters.
You brothers get it, innit?
You know?
8 goes back to the partition. Like,
I see it right there, man. The new
Your
wine.
mind is just chuckling, innit? It's all funny to her, innit? Look.
New wine.
She can't help herself, innit? It's so funny, innit?
In time she will get it. In time.
She gonna understand,
In time.
innit?
Understanding.
Don't worry, it's gonna make sense soon,
It
yeah?
makes sense to me.
You keep laughing, man. She's just chuckling over there. She's like, oh, look at those crazy niggas.
Exactly.
You gonna find out, man.
Seen us.
You gonna find out. You gonna find out.
You gonna find out.
You gonna find out, man. The people in Morocco and Libya, they're not chuckling
They're
right now.
not chuckling, man. Hey, they're not.
They got the Allah Shaddai effect signature, innit?
That's right.
That judgment.
Things are happening, man. Things are happening. I'm telling you.
Right, so 8 is an eternal number. Also, another example that shows could not have been made on the 6th day, like the rest of the other mankind creations, is the Abagada Hawazacha sequential number 8 character, which is Cha, being defined as Chalakwa, Psalms chapter 119, verse 57. This shows you that Adam was Yahweh's portion taken from the earth.
Right.
And since the 7th character in Lashwana Kodasha is Za, which goes back to sickle or pruning hooks, it's fair to say the Lord Yahweh used his sickle to sever Adam unto himself and declared him his portion pertaining to the precept in Psalms 119. So Adam is the first fruits, because after the harvest, you know, when the first partitioning is the first fruits.
Right.
So Adam is the first fruits of the earth, Aratazak. Okay? So Adam is the first fruits of the earth. Yeah. Right, so it says, portion taken from the earth. And since the 7th character in Lashwana Kodasha is Za, which goes back to sickle, it is fair to say the Lord Yahweh used his sickle to sever Adam unto himself and declared him his portion from all the creation of the earth. So Adam is the first fruits of the earth. Hence the precept Exodus 13 and 15, man. Because Adam was the first man taken from the ground. So he's the first fruits, man, of the ground. He's the first fruits.
That's right. That's right.
There you go. Adam is the first fruits.
He's your prototype.
He's the prototype. He's the Mew. Okay? Everyone else is Mewtwo. They came from him.
Oh, Mew's the baby one, isn't it?
Yeah, Mew is basically what Mewtwo was taken from, isn't it?
Yeah, but Mew's
Mew is he's the original one.
the sweet one.
Yeah, the sweet one, yeah. The original one, yeah. Yeah, so as who's gonna read Exodus 13 and 15?
Oh,
So that's the precept pertaining to the first fruit. So Adam was the first fruits, man, of the Aratazar, the earth. Okay? So Exodus 13 and 15, all right? And we're gonna show you something about Adam as well. So look, who's getting that? Anyone?
This is Exodus 13, verse 15. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
Did you see that? Because the reason why Yahweh slew all the firstborn in Egypt, it goes back to Adam, man. Okay? Because if you count down the genealogies all the way from Adam, it goes back to the 12 tribes of Israel. And Adam was the first fruits. So he said, so you won't let my first fruits go? All right, I'm gonna kill your first fruit.
Right.
That was poetic justice, man.
Poetic justice.
You keep forgetting Yahweh created everything, you know. So whatever you think you're good at, how much more better do you think he is at that? Okay? So that was the symbolism behind him killing the firstborns, man. Alright? So read that. So because he said something as well about the nation.
And the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix.
Right, so all that openeth the matrix is the first fruits. Right?
Being males.
Right.
But all the firstborn of my children I redeem.
Exactly. So the first fruits belong to Yahweh. Okay? Right, so also it is fair to say that Adam is Abraham, okay, who later came back as Joseph or Ephraim. And considering Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, came back as James, the brother of John, aka sons of thunder, who were both Jacob and Abraham, okay, because John and James were Abraham and Jacob reincarnated, man, alright? And also John was from the tribe of Ephraim, and James was from the tribe of Ephraim, because John was who? Joseph reincarnated, and Joseph goes back to Ephraim.
Right.
All right. And really, Ephraim goes back to Adam. That's why he was in the garden with the fruit.
Right.
Because when you go into the last one of Kodasha for Ephraim, get Ephraim.
Yeah,
It tells you what Ephraim means, man. And it's funny because Ephraim is the head of the 10 tribes, and the 10 tribes they got taken through what? The delta, which is called the Euphrates, but it's the Nile Delta. We broke that down. We showed them the Nile Delta.
They probably didn't even talk him to that.
Of course they didn't. They're not listening, man. But we're gonna put it out there, innit? Because there's gonna come a time where we gonna sit back and we gonna laugh and have fun. Because we're putting all the cards on the table.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
so Ephraim, yeah, read it, Ephraim.
So the outline of biblical usage for Ephraim
He gonna get
is-
put to
Hey,
death.
you hear what he said? He said it's bullshit.
Yeah, but he gonna get put to. He look like he's dying, bro. He
is
look like he's
Nah,
dying.
leave him, bro, leave him.
double ash heat. I shall be doubly fruitful.
I shall be what?
I shall be doubly fruitful.
You see that? So Ephraim goes back to being fruitful. And what did Yahweh tell Adam? Be fruitful and multiply. And what does Joseph mean? Really, Joseph means to multiply. Yeah, it means add, but it means to
Addition is
multiply.
yeah.
It means to
When
multiply.
you add, things get multiplied, doesn't it?
It means to multiply, man. So that shows you that Ephraim is Adam, the first man. And we're going to prove it because I know brothers are saying, oh, he's coming with a bugged out breakdown. He's saying Ephraim is Adam. We're going to show you Ephraim is Adam because we just told you, okay, that Adam was what? The first fruits, right? Right, so check this out. So get Jeremiah 31 verse 9. Mayama, read that. We need the Mayama voice, innit?
Yeah, we need it.
Many waters.
We need that out, man.
Because I know brothers are gonna scoff about this one and say, oh, now he's coming with a new doctrine. He's trying to say Ephraim is Adam.
The 31 and 9, yeah?
Bring that out
And
loud.
not only is Ephraim Adam, okay, but Ephraim is Abraham as well. Because Abraham received what? The covenant of circumcision, which goes back to Adam, number 8. It's the same guy.
And he said through you,
All the families of the earth shall be blessed.
That's right.
Because he had all of them.
the multiplication, the Yahweh sub factor. You know what I mean?
He's the same dude, man. He's the first man. That's why he's so prideful. When you meet Ephraim, Ephraim is so prideful because he's the first man, isn't it? That's why he's like that, you know.
So for you brothers that don't believe in reincarnation, you see how you're out of touch with the spirit. And that's dangerous, man. It's very dangerous.
And hey, why did Adam fall? Because he hearkened unto his wife.
That's right.
Isn't that the same thing Ahab did?
Right.
Jezebel, bro. Isn't that the same thing Abraham did? He hearkened unto Sarah. He's doing the same thing all over again, man. It's the same dude. It's the same man. Okay? It tell you that in what? What's her problem?
No, we're listening. She's happy listening to that.
Yeah, man, it's the same. It's the same thing repeating itself over and over again, isn't it? Yeah, man. So, what you got?
Bring that up, man.
Yeah, so read that concerning Adam being Abraham and being Ephraim as well and being John the Revelator.
That's right.
Okay, and there's a reason why John the Revelator was at the cross. Because he was Abraham, man. And Yahweh was Isaac, the sacrifice. Because remember, Yahweh had told him to sacrifice Isaac. So he had to be there to witness that sacrifice. In the regeneration, man.
That's right.
John the Revelator wasn't there because he was some tough guy, you know. It was predestinated, man.
That's right.
Okay? The rest of the disciples, Yahweh put the spirit of fear in them to flee because John had to be the eyewitness, man.
He was strong enough to be there while Yahweh Shai was being sacrificed. That's what the brother explained. Things are discerned spiritually, man, brothers. That's the miracle. This is a miracle. Brother want to have spiritual power. Alright? Now, let me say something. Those brothers that created a plane, before they created a plane, right? They had to understand what's the term again? That term.
Aerodynamics.
They had to understand aerodynamics. So for you to get a spiritual power, you have to understand.
You need understanding.
You need understanding, bro. It ain't gonna come like that, bro.
Just come like that, yeah.
Deceiving yourself.
Hey, and even if you want to get deeper, who got the coat of many colors? Who got the coat? It was Joseph. And that shows you that was Adam, because who made the coats?
Oh, that's
the Most High
right.
made the coats for Adam, didn't it? To cover their nakedness.
Yeah.
And we know that's not literal, but we're just using that to show you that it's the same person, man. Okay? It's the same person. And after he told Abraham not to kill Isaac, didn't he provide the sacrifice as well?
Right, he did.
That's what he did with Adam and Eve. He made the sacrifice for them, man. Yeah, because that pertains to Exodus 32 about them being naked, 32 and 25. Because when you commit sin, you become spiritually naked. So he was just clothing them by making the atonement for them.
Yeah, so he brother talk about when he says in Genesis that, you know, they were naked. That's what he goes into. He's explaining to say that he was basically, should I read it?
Yeah, read it. Exodus 32:25. Because after you trespass against Yahweh, you become spiritually naked. So in order to clothe yourself spiritually again, blood has to be shed, man. That's why Yahweh Shai had to be sacrificed. Okay? To give you that white garment without blemish. Okay?
Right. Exodus 32 and 25, and he reads, and when Mashah, which is Moses, saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among the enemies.
There you go. You know, that's old news, really. You know, brothers should know these stuff, man. Anyway, so we're moving on. So Adam is Abraham, okay, and Abraham is Joseph. Joseph is Ephraim, and Ephraim is John the Revelator.
That's right.
So when the Most High made the covenant with Abraham, that just goes back to the beginning.
Right.
It tells you that in Isaiah 46 and 10, declaring the end from the beginning. So why is he going to come with something new when Ecclesiastes says there's no new thing under the sun? It don't make no sense. Okay, so the breakdowns need to start adding up, man. Because like we just told you, there's going to be a serious purge, man. Especially regarding the name as well, because a lot of the brothers say they're standing stiffly for the name. Well, this is your time to shine, to really show yourself whether you stand. Because they've been saying it for years. Because IUIC, the main problem, okay, that great millstone had with IUIC is the name. So now, the Most High is putting the light on you to say, are you going to deal with this name? Are you really about the name?
It's your turn now. It's your turn to prove.
Because we just showed you a breakdown with numerical values as well.
Word.
So you can't ignore this one, okay? Because you guys were bashing IUIC so hard. So now all the spotlights are on you now. Let's see if you're going to change your... You're going to keep, in the same level. And that's when your humility really gets tested.
It's like they just pull the rug over their head, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like they're doing. It's like, they're like, oh, not him again.
Yeah.
But you can't deal with us. We ain't going nowhere. The Most High gave them a 1 year break from us. But really, it's because we were, the Most High was getting the new wine ready. Because they were so happy not to see us again. They were so happy. They were like, oh, we don't have to see those guys again. We ain't going nowhere, man.
The moon gazer, where is he now?
The moon gazer. It's probably bugged out somewhere. Because that's what they were saying, innit? They say, oh, he ran away. He's bugged out somewhere. But they didn't even know he was at Zaquana's cooking something in the kitchen. And now they're seeing the food. Now they're like, no, we don't want to eat that. You're going to have to eat it, mate. Yeah? The medicine that you don't like is the one that's good for you.
Yep. Come out.
Yeah, man. So all of you guys are going to eat humble pie. All of you. Yahweh deals with humility, man.
Whoa.
Okay? So now your humility is going to be tested. All you guys that say you're standing stiffly for the name of the Lord, like we said, now all the spotlights are on you. Now we're going to see if you're really down with the name, like you say you are. All right?
We're going to see if you body, like they say.
Yeah.
Body.
Diamond tester.
Right.
The Most High is testing, because it says, I'll make a man more precious than fine gold. But we're just going to use the diamond analogy. Yeah. So now the Most High is coming with the diamond tester to see if you're 100%. I mean, I ain't got nothing wrong with Apostle Tahara saying he's got 100% truth, because really, that just pertains to being pure. That's why he says 100, because he thinks that he's got the whole thing. That's what the Most High has given him. You understand? So we ain't got no problems with that. But when the Rawah HaKodasha is in effect, you need to humble down, okay, and start paying attention, man. Because that Hebrews 5 and 12 is creeping up behind you. Where in the time you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again. Okay? Which is one of the main principles of Yahweh.
We in that time, man.
We in that time. Acts chapter 13, certain teachers and prophets, such as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger, man. Teachers, they were teachers, man. So it means he ain't gonna send them back to teach.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You can't make this up, man.
They just came you down like, oh yeah.
You can't make this up. It's all there. So anyway, right. So it says Abraham being Joseph or Ephraim makes Adam an Ephraimite, which is why Yahweh calls Ephraim his firstborn. Do you read Jeremiah 31 verse 9? So read Jeremiah 31. This is gonna show you that Adam is Ephraim. Okay? Because remember, we just told them that what? Adam is the first fruits or the firstborn from the Aratazah. Okay? Read that.
Okay. This is Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 9. They shall come with weeping and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them.
Wait, is it Jeremiah 31 verses 9?
Yeah.
Right.
I will cause them to walk by the rivers of the waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble, for I am a father.
That's not what I want.
Jeremiah 31 and 9.
Oh yeah, carry on.
For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn.
And what?
And Ephraim is my firstborn.
Right, so hey, this is what made, the Ephraimite brother think he's meant to be running the show, innit? Because I remember he showed me that precept. He was like, yeah, look, Ephraim's the firstborn, yeah.
It meant something deeper than that.
It's something deeper than that,
than he
man.
understood.
But he ain't got the humility to get the breakdown, man. That's the thing. But through the Ruach HaKodesh, now Yahweh is bringing clarity, man. Okay? Just because, hey, Yahweh said the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So the fact that you was the first, that don't mean you're meant to be running the show. So if that's why you're walking around like that, thinking you're meant to be the big bad bull, nah, you're a young bull, man. It says the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So you gotta know your place in this, man. Right? Without humility, and plus that proud ass attitude ain't gonna fly out there, man. It's not gonna fly, you know. But through the Spirit, at some point, you know, he's gonna have to come under the tutelage of Chazakwa, man, with the second circle. Because like we said, the first circle is complete, man. So you only gonna get the consolation prize, which really is still a good prize. Because when you look at the army of Yahweh, got Ma'ak Allah and Gabara Allah. Those are two camps. Okay? So it's spiritual, man. You got the army of Ma'ak Allah and you got the army of Gabara Allah. Gabriel and Michael. That's right. Yeah. So that's spiritual, man. You understand? And if you look at the 8, it looks like 2 circles, man. Can you see the 8? Infinity is like 2 circles.
2 circle, can.
There you go. So this thing is first circle, second circle is spiritual. And also, what did Ezekiel see? He saw a wheel within a wheel, which is a circle within a circle.
That's right.
So we ain't making this up. This is not a gimmick. This is in real time. It's just that when the smoke clears, you're gonna find yourself in a sorry state.
That's right.
If you mess around, you know, especially when the Lord is trying to bring clarity and you're playing games. Right, so Jeremiah 31 verse 9, he says what? Ephraim is my firstborn. Why did he say that? Because Ephraim is Adam, the first fruits. That's the breakdown right there. Because I know a lot of brothers can't break down why Yahweh has said Ephraim is my firstborn. They can't break that down. Because I've never seen anyone do a breakdown on Jeremiah 31 verse 9.
That's right. That's right.
You can't understand that, man. Because you ain't got the new wine. That's why the new wine is coming by way of the church of Yahweh Shai. Okay? Right, it says, though this might seem bizarre at first glance, a simple analysis of the fruit situation in the garden is a clear indicator as to which tribe of Israel was Adam, as Ephraim means fruitful. Also, the Pison, which births the other 3 rivers proceeding out of Eden, empties into the Mediterranean, okay, leaving its fruit signature by way of the 7 channels, forming a somewhat tree-like stem. Because that's what happens, you know, at the Nile Delta, which is really the Euphrates, okay? The great river Euphrates is what? From Khartoum to the Nile Delta, because it looks like a tree stump and then the branches branch out. That goes back to a tree, and a tree is what you get what? Fruits from. Come on, man. And that all goes back to the Garden of Eden, which is in Uganda, man. We done a breakdown on that, but they weren't paying attention, were they? You know? There you go. There you go. So, where we at with it? Right. So the Pison 3 rivers signature by way of somewhat stem, yeah, going back to fruitful. Another point to consider is the fact that after the flood, the covenant of circumcision, which pertaineth unto the Chalakwa, was re-established with Abraham, who happens to be the same Adam, okay, from the Garden of Eden, man. It's the same guy, all right? Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. So nothing new was done when the covenant of circumcision was re-established. It had happened in old time by way of Adam. Okay? Because then that would have meant that Yahweh was doing a new thing. but it was of old time, just like the precept is going to say. Right?
Right. This is Ecclesiastes.
Read it.
The things that have been, it is that which shall be.
Right?
And that which is done, is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
And there is what?
And there is no new thing under the sun.
One more time.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
There you go. So Adam is who? Abraham. There you go. Right. So this precept makes it as clear as day that everything is constantly on repeat or recycled. So Genesis chapter 4 verse 16, right? Get Genesis chapter 4 verse 16. So now we go and deal with the flood. Alright? Because he spoke about the flood as well, the brother, innit?
Yeah.
Right, so you see, we're giving clarity, man. Ready, right? So read Genesis chapter 4 verse 16 concerning the flood.
This is Genesis chapter 4 verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden.
On the what?
On the east of Eden.
Did you hear that? So if the Garden of Eden is in Uganda, let's say we're standing in Uganda, the east of Uganda will be what? Towards the Horn of Africa.
That's right.
So that right there shows you where the flood happened, man. Okay? Because at that point in time, the sons of Adam hadn't ventured into the other parts. They were all concentrated in that one landmass. Okay? And we're gonna prove it, man. Because we know there is scoffers and we're ready for you because the new wine is laser sharp, man. Right, so concerning the flood, we must use common sense. There was no way Noah could have fit all the animals on the planet into any size ark made by man. Right, let me read that again. Concerning the flood, we must use common sense. There is no way Noah could have fit all the animals on the planet into any size ark made by man. Because that's what the atheists use to say that, oh, the Bible is a fictitious book. It's because they're not using common sense, man. Alright? Because they think that Noah went to Australia, he went to America, he went to Russia, he went to Europe, okay, where else? He went to Greenland, okay, he went to Asia, and he went and picked animals from all those places. And you see, you're thinking like a fool.
Right.
You are thinking like a fool. It doesn't make no sense. That's why when you're breaking down these scriptures, you gotta have what? The Rawaka Dasha, which really, it gives you common sense. And based on the precept that we just read now, it shows you the sons of Noah were in the eastern part of Africa, man. Because everyone agrees that Africa is the cradle of civilization.
Right.
So that shows you that the sons of Adam, they would have been living close to where the Garden of Eden was, man, which is in Uganda. As we got on the map over there, it says what? Eden. Okay? And then you've got Kenya right next to it, which is where the mountain is, Mount Sinai. And then you've got the Horn of Africa, which is where Abraham is from. So if Abraham is Adam, that shows you he was going to be living there. Come on, man. Mesopotamia. Okay? Tableland. Tableland. The place of judgment. Yahweh Shapata. Yahweh Shapata, the place of judgment. The tableland. Because what you do on a table, you sit down. It's a flat surface, man. And we're gonna break it down. They're gonna understand, man. This is not a gimmick. Right, so all the animals on the planet couldn't have fit into any size ark made by man. So an application of a little common sense will show us from various precepts that the sons of Adam at the time dwelt mostly in what people call today Somalia, anciently known as Mesopotamia.
That's right.
Genesis chapter 4 verse 16 shows us they dwelt mostly to the east of Uganda, which is the Garden of Eden, which will be heading towards the Horn of Africa. Okay? Genesis chapter 11 verses 1 to 8. Let's get it. I need a powerful reader, my yama. Genesis chapter 11. We're going to start from verses 1 and we're going to go to 8. And that's going to show you that prior to the Tower of Babel, they didn't even venture out into the other parts of the world.
Right. Hey, that's common sense, bro.
It was after the languages were confused, that's when they started to branch out.
Man,
Come on, man.
right there, you can't go again.
And they can't say we're making it up because we're reading the same precepts they've been reading, just with the new wine understanding. Okay?
Ready.
Yeah. So Genesis chapter 11 is going to show it.
Okay, this is Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. And the whole earth was one.
And the what?
And the whole earth was one.
Wait.
Language.
It says the whole earth was one language. So that means they were all in the same place. Come on, man. It's common sense.
No, we're talking about the beginning, That's the beginning. One, you start from one, just like your family.
They were unified. They were all together. They were one. They were all in the same place, man. Okay, read.
And the whole earth was one language.
And notice it says earth. Earth just means what? The ground. So it means where they were living at the time. It didn't mean the entire flipping planet, like Australia, New Zealand, all them places. No, it was where they were living at the time, where the civilized men, which are the sons of Adam, the men of renown, were living. Okay? So you gotta read the Bible with common sense and in context.
That's right.
Or you gonna make a mistake that you gonna get the kaboko for, man. And if you ain't lucky, you gonna get the Thor hammer. Which really, Thor goes back to Tara, which is Mark. Okay? So read that.
And of one speech.
Bonehead.
Verse 2. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east.
Wait. As they journeyed from the east. Did you see that? So that means they were in the eastern part of Africa, man.
That's right.
We just told you. Journey from the east. Read that again. Read that again.
Verse 2.
Damn it.
And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east.
From the what?
From the east.
From the what?
From the east.
Read.
That they found a plain.
Wait, that they found a what?
That they found a plain.
That they found a what?
That they found a plain.
Wait, you know Mesopotamia, is it not a plain or tableland? Oh!
Tableland.
It says plain or tableland.
I had to start sweet still. And they found a plain in the land of Shinar.
In the land of what?
In the land of Shinar.
That's where Nimrod was from, Shinar. The land of two countries, the land of two rivers, Somalia and Somaliland. And that's where Yahweh Shai is coming from, man. Okay? That's why it's called the Gulf of Eden.
Right.
So it shows you that the sons of Adam, they were living around that area. And Yahweh Shai said what? As in the days of Noah were, so shall his coming be.
So you're coming back from the east because that's the area, that's the beginning, that's the genesis.
That's the place that got flooded.
It's real.
That is the place that the flooding happened, man.
You
Okay?
can't go against that.
That's why he said he ain't coming back with the water this time in that place. He's coming with fire from that same location. That's why it says, as in the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of Yahweh Shai be. Because he's coming from the same location. The only difference is that he's not coming with water, he's coming with fire.
That's it.
But it's gonna be in the same location.
Switching it up now.
They're switching it up, man.
So you can't get away from this, man. And that shows you the whole earth didn't get flooded. It was just that tableland, that plain area. Okay? Read.
And they dwelt there. Verse 3. And they said one to another, go to Lot. Let us make brick and burn them thoroughly.
Right, now jump to verse 8. Verse 8.
Verse 8. So the Lord scattered them.
So the what?
So the Lord scattered them.
Did you hear that? The Most High scattered them in. That's when they got scattered, man. But prior to that, they were all in the same place. Okay? Read.
Scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth.
You see? That's when they started to branch out.
And they left off to build the city.
Well, there you go. So that shows you that prior to the flood, okay, everyone was living in the same place, man. Right? Really, prior and after the flood.
That's right.
Everyone was living in the same place. It was when they tried to what? Build that Tower of Babala. That's when Yahweh shut the whole thing down and spread them out.
That's right.
And we're talking about what? The sons of Noah here.
That's right.
Right? Right, so let's give some more understanding. So it says, so Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 to 8, clearly shows us, okay, the beginning of the sons of Noah to venture from the eastern part of Africa, okay. Prior to that, they would have mostly been living in a concentrated part of the eastern African terrain, making the flood a more envisionable occurrence, as there's a basic number of species around the Horn of Africa, man. So it shows you it wasn't all the animals on every continent. It was just that location over there. He just took two of each animal that was around that area that the Most High flooded, man. Okay?
That's right.
Around the Horn of Africa, that could fit in an ark crafted by man. Also, just to clarify, the entire globe was not flooded. It was just inhabited landmass, okay? It was just the inhabited landmass they were at that the waters covered.
That's right.
Another clue is to consider where Yahweh Shai is coming from with fire. Okay?
Yeah.
That will be the exact same location as to where the floods would have hit.
That's right.
Isaiah 66 verse 15. Zakwana.
Isaiah 66.
Isaiah 66 verse 15, man.
With the fire, man.
He's coming from the east with fire. So the flood happened in the east. It only makes sense.
The second death.
The second death,
First
bro.
death happened in the same place. The second death happened. I mean, both of those deaths happened in the same place.
And that's why he said he would gather all nations there.
That's right.
Okay?
This is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15.
Bring that up.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire.
Let me read that again.
Do that again, man.
It's not good.
For behold, the power will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render the anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Right, you see that? He's coming with flames of fire. Okay? And through the Spirit, we've shown you where, hey, Esau knows he's coming from there. Because when you go to Somalia, what has he done? Landmines everywhere. They're set up, they're waiting. They keep telling you, Somali pirate, they're lying. They destabilize the area. They ship out all the important personalities in Somalia over to Europe so they can, you know, control the area and just keep an eye out.
Yeah, because really, the so-called Somali pirate, they were playing defense, man. They felt invaded by Esau. That's why they were fighting back, really. You know what I mean? But then they'll flip it around through media to say that, oh, these guys are invading us, we're innocent. They're always innocent. It's not the case, man.
They always lie.
Okay. So this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 37.
Bring that out.
But as the days of Noah,
But as the what?
As the days of Noah,
were,
It's Noah, but they just said Noah.
okay. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Did Did you hear that? It says the same way that the Most High visited the earth with water is in the same fashion he's gonna come, but with fire this time. So it means he's gonna come from the same location, man.
Yeah.
Right? That's the clue right there. For those that have spiritual eyes to see, they're gonna discern. So Yahweh Shai gives a straightforward clue to show he's coming with fire from the exact same location the water hit in the first destruction, okay? In the first destruction of the inhabited land, which was also in the east. Also, a quick tally of ages from Adam down to Lamech, okay, totals within the 7,000 of years, and 7 goes back to Shabbatah or rest, hence the sickle in the Shemayama, because we're in the 7,000th year, man, okay? Just like back then, if you calculate from Adam to Lamech, because Lamech was the father of Noah, okay? It was 7,000 within the 7,000. We're gonna get it. So let's do the calculation. So get so we're gonna get the ages. So we're gonna start from Adam. So get Adam's age. Yeah, man. So hey, this involves a bit of maths as well, man. You know what I mean? Because numbers tell the story, man.
Right.
You know?
It's a number don't lie. It's a men lie, women lie.
Because even when you're typing on a computer, if you translate it into binary, it's just ones and zeros, man.
Yeah, Genesis
Binary coding, it's ones and zeros.
That's right.
That's numbers.
1 to 0, that's it.
Binary codings, man.
Genesis 5 and 5.
No.
So get Adam's age. Who's got a calculator? Okay, so you get the calculator, all right? So get Adam, and then we gonna calculate, man. Yeah, we gonna do a calculation. That'll be the last breakdown. Because brothers need to understand what's coming. We're not out here to just be dishing out the new. The new wine is a prelude to what's coming. The Shah season, man. All right.
Genesis 5?
Yeah, come on.
This is Genesis chapter 5 and verse 5. And all the days of Adam, and all the days that Adam lived were 990 years.
Right, so 990. So if you calculate, basically Adam had who? Abel, right? And Abel was slave. And then he had what? Seth. So if you calculate Adam, Seth, Methuselah, you know, all the generations down to Lamech, that's basically what we're going to do. Okay, so Adam was what? 900 and what?
990.
Right, so Adam was 990. So who's the next one? No, the next one should be Seth.
And Seth lived 105 years.
No, get before he died. Yeah, so we're going to get all the ages, we're going to tally that up, and then we're going to call it a day, man. No, Seth.
Yeah, it's verse 8. And all the days of Seth were 912 years.
912 years, so add that one up as well. Right, so the first one we got what? 930, and then the second one we got what? 912. So who's the third one? I think it should be 905 for the third one. Just go to the bit where he said, and he lived such and such.
Because the first one, you know.
Yes, yeah. Lived 900 years. 90.
900 and...
90.
The next one should be 905.
Yeah, that's 11.
And all the days of Enos were 905 years.
Right, so 905 and he died. So now get, so now, have you put 905? Right, so now get, is it Ka'ainan? Verse 4, is it verse 14? Yeah, verse 14.
And all the days of Canaan were 910 years.
900, hold that for me. 900 and what?
And 10 years.
910 years. I'm gonna write on the board, innit? Might as well, innit? Who's the next one? Is it Mahalil? Mahalil?
What is it, man?
Right, so Adam was what?
910.
912.
And who was the next one? Seth.
Yeah, 912.
912. And who's next?
Enos.
Enos.
905.
95. And who was that?
Kainon.
Kainon.
910.
910. Who's next?
This is Mahalalel. Mahalalel.
So Mahalalil.
17. And all the days of Mahalalel
Yep.
were 895 years.
895. Right. So I think Mahalalil had who? Jared, innit?
Jared Khan.
And so Jared was 960 and 2 years. Jared.
All the days of Jared.
Yeah, you gonna understand why
962
we're doing
years.
this breakdown. We're gonna show them why.
And all the years of Jared were 962 years.
962 years, right. And Jared had who?
Enoch.
Enoch. Enoch. Remember, Enoch was what? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now notice Enoch comes at number 7. And it says what? Enoch was not. Because Yahweh did what? He took him.
Right.
That's Sabbath. That's rest. So Enoch was what?
And all the days of Enoch were 365 years.
And the Most High took him away. You see that? He didn't die, man.
And Yahweh
So
took
we
him.
just gonna continue without Enoch now. So carry on. Who was the next one?
Methuselah.
Methuselah. Right. So Enoch walked with Yahweh. Methuselah was, I think he was the oldest, didn't he?
Oh, God.
Yeah. So he was how old? So Methuselah.
And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years.
969 years. He was old, man. I think he's the oldest man that ever lived, isn't it?
What? More than Adam?
Yeah, more than Adam.
What Adam?
Look, Adam was 930.
I thought Adam was 990.
Nah, 930. Right, so who's after Methuselah? Lamech.
Lamech. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years.
So that was a sign. Noah's father was 770 years. 777. So that shows you it was completion.
That's right.
That's why he destroyed the earth in Noah's time.
Right.
And that's why we see the sickle, because the sickle goes back to number 7.
That's right. Completion.
So now add up all the numbers that you've got so far from Adam to Lamech and tell me how much you got. I think I've got it here. Yeah, so 930, 912, 905, 910, is it 895? Yeah, 895, 962, 969, and 777 completion, man. See that? The Most High deals with order. See that? That's why Jeremiah Howard had what? 777 at the back of his bank card, man. That's spiritual, man. See that? So that shows you that every 7,000 years Yahweh visits the earth, man.
Yeah, 7 years, 7,000 years, 260.
So 7,260, man. See that?
see, and so that means that every 7,000 years, there's a replenishment.
There's rest.
You know what I'm saying?
And the definition for Noah is what? Rest. So put that in the video. Noah means rest. And also, if you want to get really spiritual, after the comma, 7,260.
It goes into 8, innit?
This is 7, and 2 plus 6 is what? 8. So that's the sickle and the partitioning.
The sickle. The sickle.
Because the 2 plus 6 adds up to 8. And then, you got the apostrophe here, because that's 7,000, so that's a 7 and an 8. Which goes back to what we've been seeing, 7 and 8, 7 and 8, 7 and 8. Which is what? Sickle and what? Partitioning, sickle, partitioning, sickle. And that's what we've been talking about, because Adam goes back to what? Number 8. You see that?
Yeah,
and that goes back to what? The harvesting with the sickle and the partitioning, man. So you can't make this up, bruv. It's all on the board, man. Show it. Because the 7 is the sickle, man. And Noah means rest.
Right. There you go, man, brothers and sisters, man. That's that math, Most I deal with maths as well, Look at this. Deal with maths, man.
Yeah, man. So this thing is down to a T.
So this thing you can't fight it.
It's down to a T.
You can't fight this thing.
It's down to a T. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it on that. So let me just round this up, then we'll close out.
Sure.
Right, which was also a quick tally of the ages from Adam down to Lamech. Total within the 7,000th of years, okay? And 7 goes back to Sabbath, rest.
Right.
Okay, hence the sickle in the Shemayama, for the brothers that have been paying attention. There's a sickle in the sky with 7 stars, okay?
Sure.
Right. Also, Noah means rest, which is synonymous with the Sabbath, which is synonymous with his father's total tally of years. Genesis 5:31. Lamech was 777 years old. 777. Right, so get Isaiah 14 verse 3 and then we'll close out. Because that rest goes back to Isaiah 14 and verse 3, man. Right? That would be that one. Yeah, so the brothers can't say we're proud, and the brother asked a question which he said he was being sincere. Answered it, man.
That's it. Hopefully you're 85, brother. And many others as well,
Ready?
Yeah.
Not on.
Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 14 verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
Did you hear that? The day the Lord shall give thee rest
from thy sorrow.
And what did Yahweh say? He said, as in the days of Noah. So that means he's going to give us rest. That's the whole reason why he's coming. A lot of people are hating on what we're doing, but he's actually coming to give you rest, man. So it shows you how people don't want rest. They don't.
And from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein
that was made to serve.
Thou was made to serve.
There you go. Anyway, with that, we're going to close out. We're going to face the east. And we're going to say Allah, Allah,
Allah, Allah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Mahashama,
Mahashama,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Barakatah, Bam Yashra Allah.
Allah. Shalom, man. Shalom.